Friday the 13th, greatest scream queens ever, from sexy bikini babes to acting royalty. Friday the 13th is always a good excuse to dust off some horror classics, many of which spawned some iconic scream queens. The term scream queen is thought to have started as a play on screen queen, adapted specifically for actresses affiliated with horror films. Scream queens are usually the female protagonist in a motion picture within the genre, with Jamie Lee Curtis thought to be one of the most iconic, for her role in Halloween. In the 1990s and 2000s, scream queens became more obvious sex symbols, hired as much for their appearance as they were for their acting ability. Thankfully, those days seem to be passing. But still, many US stars made great impacts on Hollywood in their respective slasher films, and you can browse through some of the greatest below. The most recent examples of the scream queens are perhaps in the new movie Truth or Dare, which is released today. The supernatural horror film, directed by Jeff Wadlow and starring Lucy Hale, Violet Bean, and Sophia Ali. It's been slated by critics and holds only a 20% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, with Variety saying, "The movie isn't scary, it isn't gripping, it isn't fun, and it isn't fueled by any sort of clever compulsion. It's just a strangely arduous exercise that feels increasingly frantic and arbitrary as it goes along." Still, it will no doubt find its audience. The movie has purposefully come out on Friday 13th and is expected to rake in about $15 million in its opening weekend. Elsewhere, A Quiet Place is a very different kind of horror movie on offer for punters this weekend, starring Emily Blunt and John Krasinski as parents trying to keep their children safe in a world where nobody can make a sound or risk being killed. It has already made nearly $100 million since being released last weekend. Could it make critically acclaimed actress Blunt a scream queen in her own right? Time will tell.